When a professional art software suddenly becomes free, your first reaction can be excitement, but more realistically, it might be suspicion. Because software companies don't just wake up one morning and decide that they don't want to make money anymore. So when Affinity announced that anyone can download and use their software for free, the internet immediately started asking, what's the catch? Is this just a temporary promotion? Is Canva going to lock everything behind a paid account? Will AI suddenly be everywhere? Will there be ads everywhere? Or is this actually the best free drawing and design app available right now? I've spent quite a bit of time using Affinity both for the desktop and for the iPad for illustration, coloring books, SVG designs. So today I want to answer the question that really matters at this point. Does Affinity still feel like software made for artists, even though it's free? Or is there some sort of catch, and is this breaking down some way? On paper, it's honestly impressive. You get professional illustration and design software. There's vector drawing, raster painting, photo editing, desktop and iPad versions, and now it's free. That's an incredible value, especially for someone like me, where there has been a major cost barrier to even just improving my illustration and graphic design skills for many years because I just couldn't afford it. The heavy hitter was Adobe, and some of us have just been trying to get away from it or can't even afford it in the first place. Or maybe you're just someone that dislikes paying a monthly subscription just to keep using your tools. So with Affinity being free, that promise sounds amazing. But software isn't just about feature lists. It's about whether those features actually help you create and whether there's a barrier to them once you get started. So here's the good news. There really isn't a huge hidden catch, at least not one that I've seen yet. Unless you don't like AI tools. I mean, if that's the case, then that's a huge catch, but you don't even have to use the AI. We're going to talk about that later, so let's just keep going. When you start using the free Affinity app, you don't hit a paywall after 30 days. The core Affinity apps are still the same professional software they've always been. And this can be the biggest surprise. Canva didn't just turn Affinity into a web-based app. They didn't force you to design inside your browser. They didn't suddenly require you to use AI just to make art. If all you want to do is open the app and start designing or drawing, you totally still can. So now let's talk about Canva, because this is where a lot of people start to get nervous. Canva has added cloud features and ways to connect your Affinity files with Canva if that's something that you want. And that can genuinely be useful if you design social media graphics, presentations, or marketing materials. But if you're an illustrator, you can completely ignore it. You're not constantly interrupted with Canva pop-ups, at least not that I've seen. I've personally always had a Canva Pro account, so I haven't seen any push from Affinity or Canva for me to get a Pro account. So if you use Affinity, but you don't have a Canva Pro account, let me know in the comments if you do get that push from them, any pop-ups or any reminders or any suggestions from them, because I personally don't see them. Let me know in the comments if you do, and let me know what that looks like. But one of the things that is also so nice is that you're not forced into a web-based workflow. Like Canva itself, you can use a web-based version or an app-based version. It appears that Canva mostly stays out of your way when you're using Affinity, and I can really appreciate that. But what about AI? This was one of the biggest concerns for a lot of Affinity users. Affinity has introduced some AI-powered features through Canva, but if you're someone who prefers making your own artwork from scratch, you don't have to use them. They are completely optional. And that really does make a huge difference. It's not a push for those AI-powered tools. The software still feels focused on helping you create, not just replacing you with AI. So switching gears to Affinity for the iPad. We're still in version 2 for the iPad, but something I talk a lot about is whether Affinity is actually a replacement for Procreate. The Affinity version 2 apps, either Photo or Designer, are still really good drawing and design apps. But do they really overtake the market from Procreate or even like Adobe Fresco? This is where I think expectations matter. If you're looking for something that feels exactly like Procreate, Affinity isn't that because it's much bigger. Procreate is still the smoother drawing experience. It has an amazing brush engine. The interface almost disappears while you're drawing. It's incredibly easy just to sit down and make art. And Affinity feels more like professional creative software. There are more panels, more tools, more settings. The flexibility is powerful, but it also means there's a little more friction. Personally, I reach for Procreate when I want to sketch, paint, and just relax. I reach for Affinity when I want to make vector artwork or SVG files or precise editing or a project that mixes illustration and design. So for me, they solve different problems. But Affinity is free and Procreate is still a paid app. And that might make a decision for someone that just doesn't want to shell any money out for a drawing or design app. So when I first learned about Affinity and saw that this professional grade art software was completely free, I expected aggressive upselling, and I actually was anticipating at some point I was going to be hit with a paywall after like a 7-day free trial, or constant reminders to upgrade to a system that had tools that I didn't have access to, or even features disappearing behind a paywall. But it doesn't do any of that, which is incredibly refreshing. And still, it's like, what is the catch here? So far, there's none. But none of these really great aspects of Affinity mean that it's completely perfect. The interface still has a pretty steep learning curve. Some tools aren't always where beginners expect them. There are moments where accomplishing something simple takes probably a few more clicks than it probably should. And if you're coming directly from Procreate, you'll probably miss how simple yet intuitive Procreate feels. But that doesn't mean Affinity is bad. It's just it's designed with different priorities. So what's the catch? And honestly, for most artists, there really isn't one. The software is still powerful. It still respects offline workflows, and AI isn't forced on you. And Canva integration is largely optional. And most importantly, it still feels like the software's priority is helping artists create. It's not constantly trying to upsell you into a pro account. At least, not that I know of. I already have a pro account. So again, tell me if they try to sell you into that. If your goal is finding a professional creative app without another monthly subscription, Affinity is easier to recommend today than it ever has been. So other than telling me whether or not you have a Canva Pro account, what are your other concerns about Affinity being free? Let me know in the comments below. Now, if you're like me and you're still wondering when we'll finally get word on Affinity version 3 for the iPad, I take a deep dive into what is possibly taking so long in this video right here.